Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Mega March. This is our viewing of Episode 8, The Incredible Shrinking Mega Man. I'm joined with Maria, as usual.
Hello.
And Twitch himself is back.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Woo!
Woo!
So, we're all together, and I remember really liking this episode as a kid.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, so let's just jump right into it. Oh, you know what? I do want to bring up one thing.
Sure.
It's about every episode because it's in the intro,
Uh-huh.
but I haven't brought it up yet. It's the part when it's showing all like the mechanical like workings, and then it shows like Mega Man's full body,
Mhm.
and then it's like his insides, and then it becomes Mega Man. That part, and he opens his eyes, and I never noticed it until probably like last year or something, like when I got that DVD set, whenever that was. And when he opens his eyes, like he looks stern, and then he like does this like kind of relaxed smile.
Oh yeah, he does do that.
And it's just like, I think that tells his character like really spot on. Like even, now,
Mm-hmm.
because he's like I gotta do what I gotta do, but I'm a nice guy,
Oh yeah, Mega Man
It
is
kinda
definitely
puts
like
your
that. Speaking to Mega Man's nature, there's several parts in this episode that I think really capture Mega Man and like how he is and stuff. And yeah, like I mean, we'll get to that when we get to it. It's really more towards the end. But while we're talking about the intro, you mentioned that that's in the beginning of every episode. Another thing I wanted to mention is that Elect Man has 2 left hands.
No way.
If you go to the intro and you look at the part where Elect Man kind of like slides his hands, like he's doing like a
It does the clap thing when he makes
and then he makes the electricity. If I remember correctly, he either has 2 left hands or 2 right hands. I'm just trying to get back to that exact frame because it's really for like a split second, and then like the animations smear really quick off the screen.
Oh man.
Let's see, Bomb Man, explosions.
You're supposed to
and
put your
then-
best foot forward in the opening.
I mean, it's the only animation error that I can find. Yes, I believe. Yeah, if you look, his 2 thumbs are like in the same place. But if you put your hands in the same position as his, your thumb and pinky should be touching. But in his thumb and thumb are touching, and his pinky are touching, meaning he has 2 of the same hand.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's 2
Here's a
right
picture
hands,
of
by
it.
the way. I'm looking at it now.
Well, I guess like he's been blown up so many times, like Dr. Wily ran out of parts.
Yeah,
He's
he
like,
was
just here's one, just
yeah,
put
just
it on.
put it on. I don't care. Get out
Yeah,
of my
whatever.
face. For the world.
Yeah, and
Maybe he's
then
got thumbs on both sides, so he can be super ambidextrous.
exactly.
That's funny. I've never noticed
Yeah,
that.
I'm gonna look out for that.
Yeah, I just noticed it one day. I was going through the intro in HD on the DVDs. I guess it's not technically HD anymore, but I was going through the intro and I was just capturing frames that I really liked. So I was going frame by frame, and that's where I noticed it.
Huh.
Also,
good.
Napalm
Good
Man
call.
appears in the intro, and Napalm Man is in no episodes.
Yeah, he's not. He was in the pilot. Like, have you seen like the not the pilot, but the pitch footage?
I might
And
have.
It's
Where it's in the
art style
original
of,
art style.
of Upon a Star.
Yeah, I've seen all 3 episodes for that OVA, and then I think there's also some extra footage that wasn't part of the OVA, which I think might have just been taken from some Japanese commercials, since they're all animated in the same style.
Yeah.
And I think he's in there too. Speaking of the OVA, just while we're on Easter eggs, in I think the last episode of the Mega Man OVA, Elect Man randomly makes an appearance among the Mega Man 5 Robot Masters. He's just there for like 1 frame. He's not anywhere in the episode, and then all of a sudden Mega Man just blasts him, and it's like, what? You weren't anywhere, and he just shows up to get blasted, and that's it.
He's not
And,
buying shoes or something.
yeah.
Yeah. Get some new shoes. Ah!
He really wanted to show his friends, like, hey guys, look what I
Yeah, he's like, Mega Man, I've come to help. Oh, and he's just done. He was trying to wave Mega Man down, but he couldn't quite get the hang of it because he has 2 right hands.
He's trying to wave them down, and Mega Man thought it was Wave Man. We're just
Something like that happened. Oh yeah, this episode's about the incredible Shrink and Mega Man, isn't it?
Yeah. So, before we went off on a little tangent there.
Sorry, my fault.
Little
tangent.
Now he gets it. I like that the very first thing that you hear is Wily's voice and a guard.
Yeah, it's
like,
Scott McNeil doing like a Wily, or it's like the not Wily voice for a guard.
That's just Scott McNeil's speaking voice. That's just how he always sounds.
He just talks kind of evil.
He always sounds like this whenever he speaks. Because that's just the only voice he knows how to do. No, I'm kidding.
Where's Wily?
But so in this episode, the Robot Masters break into a museum to steal some crystals.
Not just any museum, the Smithsonian.
Yeah, the
Smithsonian.
Smithsonian.
It was the Smithsonian. Okay,
and
alright.
These jewels power these like shrink ray guns. And
Right.
Wily wants to shrink cities.
Shrink and sell cities.
Alright, so yeah, I have a couple of problems with this. Wily created shrink rays that perfectly I know it's fascinating, but it's
shocking.
That's amazing.
It is amazing.
I guess the cat's out of the bag. I'll take this moment to preface this episode with the fact that my roommate is in the other room, in the living room, directly outside my door, playing some sort of VR game. So at any random moment, you may hear shouting, yelling, and/or screaming. It is not in reaction to this episode, but I implore everyone to pretend that it is.
That ironically fit.
He has a tendency to have perfect comedic timing, so you never know. So Wily makes these shrink rays to fit these gems, but I remember there's a line where I think Gutsman or Dustman, one of them, says these gems are the only ones of their kind. So if they're the only ones of their kind, how did Wily make a shrink ray that he knows will work with those gems?
22-minute episode.
Yeah, you know what? That's fair enough.
He's like talking to activate.
Wily is just that smart.
He's a genius.
He is a genius. He's such a genius that he always gets foiled for up to 2 seasons.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's a genius, but you know,
he's a genius, but he's a terrible engineer, is what it is. I think.
There we go. And speaking of that, Dustman is here, and
yeah.
You know, once again, exactly how I remember Mega Man 4. You know, this is pretty much spot on for the game.
Is it really?
Yeah, there's a car chase, and you know, you get shrunk. It's a really weird level.
This is exactly how Mega Man 4 went down. Don't you remember?
Yeah.
Cossack was part of that deal where he was buying the shrunken cities.
He was trying to go, but he was like, man, I'm so sick.
Yeah, he was trying to pick up the cities with his claw machine, but he couldn't make it to there. Yeah, so I just going over my notes for the episode. I liked in the beginning. This is like a small visual gag that I think only people who are paying attention would notice. So no kids that this show was aimed at. Mega Man says to Rush when he brings all the gear into Dr. Light, he's like, you brought everything but the kitchen sink. I'm like, Mega Man, open your eyes. There's literally a kitchen sink right there. He actually brought the kitchen
sink. Yeah, we have it written down too.
Yeah, that was pretty great.
I thought when he said it, and he dumps it out, I was like, but he brought the kitchen sink.
It's right there.
Are you blind?
Maybe it was the bathrooms.
Oh, you're right. It probably was the bathroom sink and not the kitchen sink, which is why Mega Man didn't say anything. Sorry, Mega Man. I didn't mean to question you.
He just loved his dog so much, he didn't want to, be like, no, boy, that's not the...
Yeah, because then he would have to call Rush a bad dog, and you know that he can never do that, because Rush is the goodest boy.
Yeah, and he loves him.
The goodest boy.
Rush really is a good dog in this episode. He does some pretty awesome stuff.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he doesn't like Scooby-Doo anything up. He just kind of, is there, and like Mega Man will point to something, and then they'll jet away. And
I kind of admire that they didn't make, like, Rush, like, that annoying, like, Scrappy-Doo kind of...
Yeah.
He's a more of a bumbler than a...
Yeah, he's got some dumb moments, but he's not bad. Like he's good in everything that he does, more or less. But it's for comedic effect, you know.
He's usually the joke at the end of an episode.
Yeah, honestly, my favorite character in any Mega Man episode is the goofy saxophone that plays whenever he's on screen.
Yes.
The background music on that show is really good. I tried to find some yesterday, and it just apparently doesn't exist. But there's a CD full of like vocal songs for the show that I've never heard before.
But none of the actual songs used in the
same thing with like Super Mario Brothers Super Show. That had some really good background music, and it doesn't exist anymore.
I gotta figure out where I heard this before, but I watched a cartoon that I don't think it was produced by Ruby Spears Productions, but they used Mega Man background music, and I recognized it because I've heard it before. And I this was like years ago, but I did find an episode of Mega Man that used the exact same background music as this other show. It was again from the 90s, so it had a very like crazy, extreme 90s metal soundtrack. They just used the same kind of background music. It was really weird.
I think that's because of Shuki Levy from Saban, because
that's possible too. Yeah,
like there's like some sort of roundabout way where all those things are connected.
Yeah,
and
6 degrees
I
of
think
separation.
there's some like Mighty Morphin Power Ranger songs that are in Mega Man or vice versa.
Something like that. And they all have that kind of sound to them.
Yeah, like that sort of grungy.
Yeah, you know, like it's kind of cheesy at the same time, but it's great. Like, I don't know how to describe that sound.
For some reason, Beetleborgs comes to mind.
Big Bad Mega Mans?
Yeah, you know, Beetleborgs does come to mind, but I don't think Beetleborgs used music like that. Maybe they did. I haven't seen Beetleborgs in a long time. But
I just
remember
the music
Flabber.
sounds like what Beetleborgs looks like.
Yeah, that's perfect.
That's kind of how I...
Anyway.
Yeah.
So anyway, they're at the museum.
Yeah, I take issue with that. They're at the Smithsonian, and the first episode of Mega Man, because as a canon and lore nut, the very first episode... Now, I'm going to Google this right now, so we're going to find out if I'm an idiot on recording right here. We're going to head over to Google, and I'm going to see where the heck is Kennedy Airport. Alright, so... I'm assuming Kennedy International Airport in the first episode is just called Kennedy Airport, is referring to JFK Airport, which is in New York, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so Mega Man leaves Dr. Light's lab and goes to respond to the JFK Airport incident with Dr. Wily. Mega Man also leaves the lab and responds to the incident at the Smithsonian. So where's Dr. Light's lab located exactly? Because does Mega Man just fly to both? Like, those... Correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't those some distance apart by, like, at least a couple hours?
No, Dr. Light just owns condos throughout the country.
Oh!
I was going to say he's got lots of labs. Like he took the Wily approach, and he just has a bunch of labs.
He just lives with that's most convenient for the episode.
Yeah, that makes sense. He's got lots of timeshares. He's got good deals. I mean, that's the only explanation I can think of, because, like, I mean, I know this is stupid. I hate to ruin the illusion, but Mega Man cannot possibly travel that distance if he lived in the same place. Like, I don't understand. If
Dr. Light is much richer than he appears on the show.
Yes,
well,
clearly.
Maybe he can only
He just likes to be modest.
he can only Mega Man teleport during commercial breaks. Or something.
Yeah, you know what? That makes sense. See, if they had just animated the teleport, I would have been like, cool, I get it. But instead, I have to assume that Rush has like a hidden form beyond the Rush jet, like the Rush Concorde jet or something, and he just goes supersonic or some crap.
It goes even further beyond.
He goes even further beyond. Then he might stand a chance against Kung Fu Cutman.
Maybe. I thought that was this episode. The whole time I was like, oh, is this it? And it wasn't.
No, yeah. He was like, is this Kung Fu Cutman?
But, you know, speaking of Cutman, I love how he was beaten by a chandelier. Like, that just cracked me up for some
I want to know how Mega Man kicked his blade without cutting his foot off.
You know.
That was some really fancy Kung Fu there, Mega Man. Jeez.
Invincible.
Well, you know, we couldn't see his health bar, so it might have done damage. But,
you know what? It's true. He just damage boosted through the cut blade.
I like how Gutsman is just like, forget the door, I'm just gonna crash through it.
Yeah, doors are suggestion.
Yeah,
Like
Guts. I don't think Gutsman ever uses a door in the entire episode, except for on his. Oh no, through the entire series, I should say, except for this truck, which he just had detailed.
that was a good little line.
Yeah.
That's why he doesn't just crash through the door of his truck or van or whatever it was, because he just got it detailed. He wants to be gentle. I'm also just calling shenanigans. There's no way Gutsman fits inside that truck.
Yeah.
Well, he used the shrink ray on himself.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah,
He's like...
so he can enjoy the truck.
Exactly.
But just barely.
Just barely, yeah.
Hey, Cutman, do you think you could top me off? And he just gets like a little zap.
Wait, that. Please, pleasure, Gutsman. Okay, that's how he sounds. I don't know, Gutsman. I don't know.
I love his laugh because you can do it forever.
Oh man. Okay, so they shrink the cities and they put them in glass things. Ain't no air holes, man.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's are people in the city? They don't address that. They just say they shrunk the city.
I know they don't, and my first thought was, what about the plumbing? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like that has to go somewhere. And then Jonathan was like, "Can you imagine coming out of a subway
Yeah,
and you're
yeah.
like, what the hell?"
I have a question. What happens to the people who are on the border of the shrink ray? Did they get half shrunk?
I mean, you have to tune in next week to find out.
Oh, and then maybe they would be called half. Oh gosh, I'm not very punny.
No, that's where Searchman came from. Because like they shrunk like half of a robot, and then they grew it back, and then he turned into a second robot. It's canon. Look it up.
This is all canon. I can confirm. It's all canon. I also thought it was funny that they just put them in these like little glass display cases.
Yeah, like a Beauty and the Beast kind of.
Oh,
yeah,
thing.
but they're like shaking those cities around like it's nothing.
I know. I bet the people were all like, "What the heck's happening?"
I know. I mean, how do you even do that?
What do you even do with a mini city? Why would you?
That's a lot of people to feed.
I know.
I mean, you can just get one hamburger and feed the whole city for like.
I don't know.
ever.
Mr. Rozhenko looks like he's had enough hamburgers for the entire city. He's like sweating the whole time. He's always like, "Oh, I need to go find my shrunken city."
I think he's gonna plant the city so he can grow like a city tree, and then he have all the people he wants to eat.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Look how morbid.
This kind of reminds me of, wasn't there that movie that came out not too long ago? Downsizing or whatever it was called. It was,
The name sounds familiar.
It was
but-
like this guy wants to, he's like down on his luck or something, and he finds out that you can like shrink down to like action figure size or whatever.
Oh yeah, you know what? I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and it was something like he gets like a better life because like everything is in abundance now because everyone is smaller.
Right.
I don't know, something like that. I don't know. That's.
I have to look that up. I don't
Yeah.
think I've heard of it.
I don't have any way of connecting this to the episode outside of the fact that it involves shrinking, but I just thought it was a clever little thing.
Yeah, shrink. Shrink a dink.
So what are the little bats called?
Batontons.
Is that what they're actually called?
It depends on the game. I've seen them called batons, and I think in one game they're called batontons. In other games they're called bombats, and I think in some other ones they're I want to say ball bat because they turn into like a ball when they're on the ceiling. I'm not so sure, but there's a ton of names and it's all for the same enemy, but each one does slightly different things.
It's kind of like how Mets have a bunch of names.
Yeah, Metul, Metal, Metar.
Yeah, like I've always called them batontons just because that's the name that I remember from the show.
Yeah, that's what I've always heard from the show, but it's funny because like I know that they're actually called batons, but then I hear batonton and I'm like, that's just what I remember from the show.
Yeah, it just sounds
Yeah.
right. That's like with.
It's fun to say.
That's like
It is
with
fun to say.
Mario
You
3.
can tell your little niece. Sorry, go ahead.
That's like with Mario 3. Because the cartoon called the Karibo shoe Karubi.
Karubi?
And just forever, yeah, just because. So I always, like, when I was a kid, it was always just Karubi.
I've
And then it was
never
like,
seen that. I have to go watch that episode.
I think it's the very last episode. Look up Super Koopa, because he gets like all the Mario powers, and it's really cool.
Oh, that sounds pretty awesome.
It's a really good episode.
Yeah, that sounds like one. It's the Mario Brothers Super Show had some winners in there, but
Yeah,
but also a lot of stinkers.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
um.
Speaking of Mario, oh my God, this actually does connect. I just looked down at my notes.
Congratulations.
Speaking of Mario, when Mega Man throws the driver out of the car when it's
Oh
driving
yeah,
out.
he like swerves the car and the guy just randomly flies out of the open door, which wasn't open.
Yeah, just the yell that he does, it sounds like that that Luigi yell.
I know exactly which one you're talking about.
You know that one?
Oh my
Like,
God.
No, you know what else sounds like that? The Batontons. Did you hear that?
Luigi confirmed for Mega Man.
The Batontons had this weird like scream mixed in with their bat noises. It wasn't just like screechy bat noises. There was like people yelling in there. I'm like, oh my God, how horrifying.
Well, then they fell into the water and just exploded.
The
Yes.
companion cube of bats.
I was thinking that, yeah.
Precisely. Man,
Nobody
that's-
gets cake in this episode.
yeah, they were really freaking weird. And I going back to what the heck was that guy's name? I don't know, the fat guy, the criminals. Rozhenko. Mr. Rozhenko is the only one I remember. They introduced these three villains as though like we should know them.
Yeah.
I know.
I don't know if that was like padding for the episode or if like they planned to make
Probably.
them like recurring characters. But I thought it would have been neat to have other villains besides Wily to do stuff.
Yeah.
But either way, they just kind of show up. It's just weird because they introduce them like they're going to show up in another episode or like we're going to know about them later. But I guess that's just how it is with... Yeah. I guess that's just how it is with every episode. Like, there's lots of other episodes where they introduce characters who you just never see again.
Yeah.
Like, what was that one guy? What was his name?
I know there's eventually Brainbot, you know.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I was hoping he would become like a recurring character.
Me too, I like his design.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I always thought it was just like a copy of Mega Man. Like I thought it was like a smarter Mega Man because he looks the same.
He wears glasses.
He wore glasses, therefore he was smart. It was the 90s. It was a different time. And who else did they have? Oh, of course, we can't forget Autoraptor. Autoraptor was another one-off character, and then
There's the maid and like the butler bots from the second episode.
Oh yeah, they were kind of one-offs. And what about those robots from the episode where they go to school? There's like the cheerleading robot and the kung fu robot and the art robot who has like a paintbrush coming out of his arm.
Oh no, I'd have to see that one
It's
because
the one with Top Man where he hits on roll.
Oh man, yeah, I can't even think of it.
Sorry.
Oh my gosh, that whole sequence makes me cringe. I just when he says you can call me Toppy, I just shrivel up into a raisin. I just can't even think about that.
No.
Oh, so can we talk about So I want to talk about the animation for a moment. The animation in this episode I thought was better than most episodes.
Yeah, I was getting a good vibe from it, especially near the end, which I will bring up.
Oh yeah, there was some good animation, and I felt like they were really flexing their budget because the part where Roll goes to check on Mega Man and she jumps on the bike was completely unnecessary.
Oh, when she did like the side backflip thing.
Yeah, so the motorcycle the Sky Cycle trademark. Is sold separately. Was
I wrote a trademark in here too. We'll get to it.
Oh boy. It's like facing a wall, and then Roll runs up to it in like a fairly decent animation, which I thought was cool. She looked taller than usual, but that's besides the point. And then she like jumps.
Else was just drunk.
Yes. She does this weird jump backflip thingy in the air.
I don't know how that even makes sense. Because how are you?
It's a gymnastics thing.
Like,
why? She could have just gotten on the bike. That would have been faster than the amount of time it took for her to jump into the air, twist around, and then land on it. Made no sense. And also, if that bike is there for like emergency exits to run out and save Mega Man. Why is it facing the wall? Just point it in the direction you need to go in. I mean, it was cool. I liked watching the animation. I mean, that's where my adult brain kicks in, and I have to remember to watch this as a kid brain.
Yeah.
As an adult, I'm like, that's dumb. But as a kid, I'm like, wow, that was really cool, and it keeps my attention. Yeah, it keeps your attention.
Yeah. It's so funny that you mentioned that, because as I watched it, I was like, wait, did she really just do that?
Yeah,
like,
I had to go back.
Why? It was like, just because she can.
Yeah.
I had to go back and watch that again. Like, wait, what did she do? Like, why? I saw her get on the bike, but I don't know why or how she did it.
Like,
if you got it, flaunt
like, was that supposed to be there? Is that a mistake?
Mm-hmm. It's just very extra. She wants to say that she was starting a combo string in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, and she started off with a trick. And so she was going to carry that manual all the way over to where Mega Man isn't finished with a click flip.
Yeah, that's a good point. So, I like when Roll finds Mega Man, and I think this is what you were alluding to earlier. And then she's like, "Oh, let's bring you back to regular size." And he's like, "Hold on, there might not be enough juice. Let's do the cities first."
Yeah,
like
very like.
That's why I love Mega Man. That was so good. Like, it's such a simple moment where he's not doing anything actiony. He's not doing anything crazy. It's not flashy. But in that one moment, like, Mega Man says and does something really heroic. And the fact that he did that, like, even as a kid, that always stuck with me. I'm like, oh, wow, that's really responsible. Like, that's being a hero. Yeah. He knows that he can change himself back, but what if he can't save everyone else? So it's cool that he was like, let's do the cities first, and then if there's enough for me, then we can take care of me. And I thought it's like, what if he was stuck like that forever? Yeah. That was just really good writing.
I love how he points out that, you know, if there's enough for me, like he's like fully aware.
He might not,
that,
you know.
It speaks volumes, and I love it. Like this, you know, like I know like a lot of these days kind of rag on this show because, you know, it's goofy. It's not goofy, Mega Man. He's buff.
There's like then, little nuggets of great writing.
Yeah, there is.
Like that's Mega Man. Like that.
Yes.
That line is, you know, Mega Man.
Like literally when we watched that scene, I was like, "Good on you, Mega Man. That's smart."
Yeah, that's
robot brain.
That's some justice right there. Like, Ruby Spears Mega Man, to me, and this might sound silly, but Ruby Spears Mega Man to me kind of set the precedent for like what Mega Man should be. And so when I see him acting in a way that's like not like so far removed from this show or from like the games, like it turns me off to Mega Man. I'm like, this isn't Mega Man. This is exactly. That's exactly how I feel on the inside. No. It throws me off because I'm like, Mega Man is supposed to be a guy who like is self-sacrificing. He's there to fight for justice. He's there to uphold what's right and good, but he's not doing it in like a cheesy way. He's doing it in a way that like even kids can understand. And that's why this show probably resonated with me so strongly when I was a kid. And like this might again sound even cheesier, but like I based a lot of my morals when I was a kid off of this show from stuff that Mega Man did, and I'm like, I want to be like Mega Man. He's my hero. So like that's what I did.
That's a good choice for a hero. Like, okay, I'm gonna pull back the curtain a little bit. One time, you know, this is when I was, you know, being like really influenced by this cartoon.
Little Mega Boy.
And like I was real big into Mario. And, you know, like, real big into at least the Mega Man cartoon, because I didn't have any of the games.
Right.
But my friend's mom asked what I wanted to be when I grow up, and I said, a plumber or a robot. So, you know, like you can see exactly
why not a plumbing robot?
You could have been both.
Yeah, I couldn't even.
Little Mega Boy John.
I couldn't even consider. I'm kidding. But, and then, like, she got in touch with me a few years back, and she's like, "Do you remember when you said that?" And I was like, "Yes, I do."
That's great.
You know, but like, I get exactly what you're saying when it's like, you know, good role model character.
Yeah, that's something that I think is super important. Is that Mega Man is supposed to be a good role model, and He does it so flawlessly without even trying to be a good role. Oh, shut up! Stop.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. I was on a roll, but don't worry about
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
But keep going.
So Mega Man is supposed to be a good role model, and he's not even trying to be. I know. For lack of a better term, it doesn't feel forced. I feel like so many shows nowadays, they like narrate the lesson to you. Like they just tell you, like, you're supposed to feel this way, or like you're supposed to think like this, and it's like, if you have to spell it out for someone, you know, then you're just kind of telling them and they're not really grasping it. But like when you watch like this show, like again, I know it's goofy and like everyone loves to make fun of it because it was the 90s and it was weird. But when you see Mega Man do heroic acts like this, again, without any action, without any like punching or kicking or violence, he just says a sentence and immediately you're just like, I get it. Like, now I understand Mega Man's a hero. And, like, little kids can understand stuff like that. And so I just think that's super cool. And it's the kind of writing I wish would, like, come back. I don't know. I don't see enough examples of that anymore. Like, here's my favorite example of shoving a lesson in your face, which ironically came from the 90s. It was an episode of Tiny Toons where, Buster and Babs, I think that was her name, right? The pink one?
Yeah.
Buster and Babs go on some sort of adventure, and yada yada, the evil man is destroying the rainforest. And they're like, what are they even doing with these trees? And they like follow these trees into this factory, and the entire tree gets shaven down into like a toothpick?
A toothpick, yeah.
And
I know what you're talking about.
I remember Babs has this like freak out where she's like, "That's what you're doing with them? Don't you see how wasteful you're being?" And she like goes off, and as a kid I was like, well, first of all, that doesn't make any sense. I don't think they're using an entire tree for a toothpick. And second of all, stop yelling at me. like, I mean, not me personally, but like that was a case of like forcing the moral down a kid's throat versus letting them figure it out on their own, you know?
That reminds me of a lot of, like, early Mighty Morphin Power Rangers episodes. Like, you know, just, like, Season 1, it's like, oh, we're doing a charity event because good kids do charity, you know, like...
Yeah, and I was thinking to myself, like, I never did charity. I was too young to understand that stuff.
Yeah. Just start fighting. Be good guys.
Yeah.
Speaking of being good guys, what was up with that Legends of the Hidden Temple music in the car chase?
That's exactly what it sounded like.
Wait. You know, I didn't notice that. That's something that was lost on me.
Yeah, it's just, like, I a few years ago, I got real, like, big back into Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Oh, I love that show.
This show's way better than I remember, you know? Mm-hmm. And, like, now I've got all the music because someone, like has the actual music rips from the show, and I'm very thankful. But it just sounded like one of the Temple game songs.
Oh yeah, that sounds awesome. I remember that show being great, and I always hated how every kid on that show was stupid and couldn't figure out the Silver Monkey.
Oh my god, have you seen
the movie?
The movie?
Yeah, there's a movie.
Yeah, they did a movie a couple years ago.
What? I never heard of this.
Yeah.
And well, was it? We watched it on something. We watched it on Verve.
Oh, okay.
You know, because it was like Nick Splat or whatever. But just long story short, there's a part when like the kids are trapped in the temple, and they're trapped in the shrine of the Silver Monkey, and like it is like 6 hours pass, 48 hours pass. You know, like it's just doing these ridiculous time. You know,
and
things.
We'd love to say more, but
eternity later.
I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah,
I don't want to spoil any lines that.
The very ending is hilarious.
Yeah, it is.
If you're a Mega Man fan, you're gonna love Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Yes,
so go check it out.
Go watch it on Verve. It's amazing.
Legends of the Hidden Temple. It was an excellent TV show, and from what I'm hearing, is an excellent movie. I have to go check this out. I've never heard of this.
Oh,
okay.
Away.
Just remember to rewind your brain to a time when you were a kid, and you'll enjoy the movie better that way.
Oh yeah, my gosh.
It's definitely got like a younger focus, but it's got every reference that any fan of Legends of the Hidden Temple would.
In that case, I'm sure I'll love it. I bet I can't. I just want to see Olmec's big dumb face.
It's great. Oh,
it's pretty good. Yeah.
So we're still on Legends, but like you know how like the purple parrots would always lose, like that was kind of their deal.
I don't remember that. I guess that's a thing though.
Yeah, it's like purple and orange would always lose. But anyway, they find like all the like the animals are like, oh no, a red jaguar, you know, and then
a blue barracuda.
When it comes to the purple parrot, they don't even say anything. Like you see it in the air and it explodes.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. Like we were like,
oh.
Is this like animated or is this like? What is this?
No, it's a live-action movie.
Oh my god, I need to see this. This sounds amazing. I've never heard of this.
It's really good.
All right, real quick before we jump back to Mega Man, I just want to tell everyone out there, if you ever watch Legends of the Hidden Temple, when you do see them get to the Shrine of the Silver Monkey in the game show, not the movie, all anyone needs to do is place the monkey down and rotate it until the pieces fall into place. I just want everyone to understand that it is that simple. And yet, I've seen people waste 5 minutes in that one room who can't figure out which way to put the stupid silver. I can't. We gotta get back to Mega Man. I'm getting angry. I have rage pent up in me that's been dormant since 1995, and I need to get back on Mega Man.
Don't worry.
Shrine of the Silver Dustman.
It'll be relieved in that one scene in the movie. Just
I really hope so.
It's amazing. It is so amazing.
Oh my god. So many years of catharsis.
Back to Mega Man.
So anyway, there's a part where Mega Man copies Dustman's power.
Oh yeah.
And forever, like, I thought that's how it would work in the games. Because like I said, I didn't have any of the games. You know, like, all this was new to me, and I was like, oh cool, you get to like a vacuum. And then, you know, I eventually played Mega Man 4, and I'm like, that ain't a vacuum.
He's just throwing a ball of junk at you.
But I really like how there were some liberties taken with some of the powers. Like, same with in episode 1 when Proto Man copies Guts Man.
Oh, that was the coolest thing. Why didn't they do that more? I was so mad.
Yeah, it's super buff.
He gets the one giant, you know, rock'em sock'em arm, and he's gonna, and he punches Mega Man through the wall. Like, yeah, that was so cool. It shows that Proto Man can do it too. And I'm like, that is so cool. I wonder how they're gonna do it. And then when I got the DVD series, I watched every episode, and I kept waiting to find another episode where Proto Man copies a power, and it never happens.
Never again.
I think that's also the only time Gutsman's power is copied.
It is.
That's sad.
Yeah. But, you know, speaking of Proto Man, when, like, Jesus, Mallow's knocking batteries down.
They're pissed off about the Shrine of the Silver Monkey, too.
Say hi to Mallow, everybody.
Meow.
Hi, Mallow.
But, it's when they're flying away, and Wily's, he's like, oh, I'm gonna shrink some more cities with my giant ray, and the Mega Man's like, nuh-uh, and he pushes it, so it starts to shrink, the Skulker.
Oh, yeah.
And then, so when they're leaving, or, you know, like, they're hitting the emergency exit, and there's got to be one last Protopun. TM, I wrote TM.
Protopun.
One last Protopun before they retreat. He's like, what did he say? Like, there's no job too big for my brother, or something.
Yeah, something along those lines.
Yeah. So, I wanted to write down Protopun, and I did. Now I talked about it.
I'm glad that you brought that to our attention. Protopuns, get them today.
Yep. But, I mean, like, and now we're pretty much at the end of the episode, and there was one thing that happened that I never noticed before, and I really liked it. It was when, you know, Mega Man gets brought back to normal size. You know, spoiler, he's fine at the end.
Yeah, he doesn't stay small, everyone. Just wanted you to know that.
Yeah.
But, you know, he gets brought back to normal size, and then, you know, Roll gives him a hug, and then just, like, the way that Mega Man's face is drawn, it's drawn, like, more youthful than the rest of the show, you know, from what I could see. Like, he looked more youthful, and it really reminded me of the end of Mega Man 8. Like, when Roll is hugging Mega Man. It just, I don't know, it was just the way that his face was drawn, it looked eerily similar.
I'm going there right now. I'm gonna go see what you're talking about. I think the reason why... Oh, yeah, you're right. You know why? Like I said, this is one of the more well animated episodes. I don't know if you noticed this. It has a more anime vibe to it, the way that they drew it, just like the intro has a more anime kind of vibe to it.
I was noticing the eyes were like bigger and animier.
Yes, and also there was it's not throughout the whole episode, but certain scenes have better shading, like they actually have shading. You can tell which animation studio worked on which episode based on how it's drawn. So I think this is one of the ones that was done by one of the either a Japanese or Korean animation studio that does a more anime style. And the lower budget episodes were done by the American animation studios, where you can tell that everything is like flat shaded, the line art is like extra thick, and people don't really move as fluidly. You don't get that awesome roll backflip onto the motorcycle. That's only in these episodes, and even here at the end, right when Rush is like licking Mega Man, like that he's back to normal or whatever, he has like very obvious anime eyes.
Yes.
And like they merged his, he has like Sonic syndrome, where the whites of his eyes have merged together.
One big double eye.
Yeah, it's very chibi anime of the time kind of style. So yeah, you can see there, like, it's definitely a more anime inspired episode, but it's also kind of interesting because they keep to the American style while still animating in this Japanese kind of art style. It just looks really good, the whole thing.
Yeah, it was like the whole episode looked pretty good, but that ending part, like, especially, like, I was just like, I think Mega Man 8, like, they were tracing it.
I really like the ending because, you roll.
She gets to.
I like being a big sister or something.
And then he gets all big, and then they hug, like, "Hi, I love you," and like, since I'm like the oldest, I am a big sister. I was like, "Oh, I feel that hug. That's cute."
Aww, yeah, it was a very wholesome moment.
Yeah,
it didn't end on like.
Is that the first time we see them hug?
Probably some other times. It might be the first. I don't know.
First episode when he came back to, he was in like a
and he like hugs her like that. They were in like I love you.
That was
embrace.
an embrace. Yeah. So I don't know. It might be. Comment section.
Did you feel that embrace?
Go watch the other episodes again.
Put that heart face down below.
We're gonna do a super cut of every time Roll hugs Mega Man.
Yeah.
And here it is. Wow, wasn't that great?
Spread the Mega Man love, y'all. Hug your neighbor.
Oh no, my neighbor won't like me.
But I'm your neighbor. I'm right next to you.
Oh, okay.
Hug.
What a nice hug.
Yes.
I know we were just singing the praises of how nicely animated this episode was. But what the heck is up with those title cards in between commercials?
Oh my god.
She brought it up too, and
Roll is like.
Roll's the worst offender.
She is. It's
and then Rush and then Mega Man. But the only thing with Mega Man, besides his face being a little bit wonky, is just like you change the color of his neck and his hands, and
that really throws me off.
and the Roll's little title card. You know how her
colors are weird.
I know her colors are weird.
And
you know how when you tie something on a string and then you drag it across? That's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah.
like they just put some toy on the end of a string and then they took a picture of it and then they drew it.
Yeah,
title card.
It looks like they got these better later because these are some of the earlier title cards, but I know later title cards are drawn by, again, the better animation studio, because it matches the opening art style, and like art style's closer like what was in the episode, where finally the characters are on model to the show. They have not flesh-colored hands, which really throws me off. And they're also colored correctly. Like, for some reason on these title cards, Rush's muzzle is white, like pure white, like they just didn't color it. And same thing for Roll's jumpsuit. It's red and white, but it's supposed to be like red and kind of beige.
Yellowish. Well, she got a fire flower.
That's what it is. She's Fire Peach. That's what she is right there. She's got the blonde hair and the ponytail and the red one. Exactly.
Yeah. See, and everybody nowadays is copying the Mega Man cartoon from the 90s.
As they should. Mega Man has... Okay, here's my beef with every other video game series in existence. Don't at me. Mega Man has historically been ahead of the curve on so many things and gets none of the credit for it. Or it could have been ahead of the curve, and then Capcom, not necessarily the people running Mega Man stuff, have screwed it up. Like, people are gonna hate me for this, but like Mega Man Legends came out before Legend of Zelda, and they did a ton of stuff that Legend of Zelda gets praise for first. Like, they got Z-targeting down first, they got open world RPG, I mean, open world in gigantic air quotes, open world for the time.
And 3D.
And in 3D, they did a lot of those things first, and they get no credit for it, because Legends of Zelda came out and shut the hell up at Zelda. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sounds like Mega Man is on Mega Trend.
Oh my gosh.
Boo this man.
Boo.
Sorry. And were you told catch yourself when you said Legend? Because I could have sworn you were gonna say Legends and then Temple.
Oh no, it all comes full circle.
It comes full. We have the Triforce over here. We have Mega Man Legends, Legend of Zelda, and Legends of the Hidden Temple. Somehow these things are all related.
The Mega Triforce.
Yes, the Mega Trifecta.
All sorts of fun things happen in Mega March.
And one other thing I wanted to get off my chest about Mega Man being first on is, Mega Man did Mario Maker before Mario Maker, and then it got canceled.
Oh, Universe, right?
Mega Man Universe was going to be Mario Maker. It was going to be 100% fan-created content. I mean, not 100%, there was going to be some pre-built stuff, but the point is, the draw was that it was going to be online, you could download stages other people make, you can combine parts to make your own characters, you can have all the gimmicks of every other Mega Man series out there, and just make stages, and it was going to be awesome, and Capcom canceled it. And then Nintendo took that idea and stuck it in their back pocket, and all of a sudden the Wii U comes out, and bam, everyone loves Mega Maker, and, excuse me, not Mega Maker. Mega Maker's great. Mario Maker comes out, and they do it, and everyone's like, oh my god, we love Mario Maker, and then Mega Maker comes out, and I'm just like, that could have been you, Capcom, what are you doing?
Yeah.
They were probably just like, haha, look what we did first.
Yeah, they're like, they could have been counting them dollar bills, but now they're just like, Mega who? Well, I mean, not more, but...
I mean, sort of. I mean, I don't know. Capcom is like that dad that walked out on us like 18 years ago for milk, and then shows up one day with ice cream, and he's like, I'm sorry, and we're just supposed to be like, okay. I don't know.
Milk turned into ice cream. That's what took so long.
That's why it took so long.
It was supposed to be a natural process, but my god.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Capcom is very slowly making what I'm going to call right decisions.
Yes.
And I hope that they keep on this trend, because if Capcom can slowly redeem themselves for this, at least for me, a very disappointing last decade, maybe I'll start to like them again. I don't know. It's been a great time if you're a Street Fighter, Monster Hunter, or Resident Evil fan, though.
Oh, yeah.
Capcom, I know you're watching this.
I know you're watching, Capcom. Anyway.
I guess on that, I can't think of anything else to tie back to the Incredible Shrinking Mega Man, Tiny Toons, Legends of the Hidden Temple, or Ocarina of Time.
It's a good episode.
Yeah.
It's a great episode. I actually have a lot less notes this time around than I did for Robosaur Park, because it, like, as crazy as the premise is, like here's the thing. You hear the premise, oh, Mega Man goes to a theme park filled with dinosaur robots. You think nothing crazy is going to happen in that episode. It seems like pretty standard plot stuff going on. No, and it goes absolutely off the rails. Please go watch that episode. But then this one is called The Incredible Shrinking Mega Man, and Mega Man gets shrunk down by a shrink ray, and you'd think, well, that's absolutely ludicrous. But the episode is fairly straightforward and just fun. Like, it's just a great time.
It's full of good character moments. Like, who would have thought?
Absolutely
like, Mega Man
great.
grabs a giant fire hose and he sprays it at the people.
How come the fire hose? Hold on, how come the fire hose didn't just send him flying in the opposite direction?
I know, right? I was like,
he's a robot and has super strength.
Yeah. Well, I mean, still, like, he weighs like, 10 pounds at most right now.
I said he's a robot and has super strength. I mean, come on. If you start questioning those physics, you're gonna have to start questioning all the physics.
That's true. Alright, this was fun. I hope you enjoyed, and join us tomorrow for more mega goodness.
Yeah, absolutely. Hope you guys will join us then. Again, as I said last time, go watch Ruby Spears Mega Man. Great show, and a lot of episodes are sprinkled throughout that have great character moments like this. It's really awesome. If you're a Mega Man fan, it's a must-see.
Yes, sir.
All right, kids. We'll see you later.
Yep.
See you next time, rock and rollers.
Ooh, I like that.
That is a good
Bye-bye.
one. Take it easy.